Are you getting anxious because you're not going to be able to train the bench press for a while? Take the chill pill and relax. This video is for you. Yo, what's the crack? Your personal trainer TiToX, changing people's lives for the better through strength and fitness. So today's video is going to discuss a situation that the average gym rat could relate to. What happens if you can't do the bench press for a while and what to do about it. At the end of my holidays, I got the Rona. So 7 days of rest were followed by 2 hellish weeks of being super fatigued and sick. In week 3, I started to feel a little bit better. I was able to eat and walk more, be more active in general, but still feel like crap and not being able to train at all. So needless to say, I just came out of a very rough month where I had to stop training altogether. But now I'm gradually getting back into my regular training schedule and things are moving along. It'll take some time until I bounce back to my pre-COVID strength level, but I'm slowly getting there. The lift that has suffered the most by far is the bench press. In only 4 weeks of not training, being sick, and not eating nearly as much as I used to have caused a drop of around 20 to 25 pounds in this lift. I did expect a drop, but I was taken aback by the magnitude of it. Now I'm clawing my way back up. So I guess the first lesson we can draw from all this is that you should expect a major drop in performance in the bench press due to sickness, if you're someone who trains this lift regularly, that is. The second topic I'd like to discuss today is in regards to maintaining or even gaining bench press strength without actually performing any bench press at all, not a single variation. Let me get this straight. I do not advocate the removal of this fantastic compound lift from a training program. But I bring up this possibility because some people might be forced into situations where they can't bench press at all. An example is a pandemic where gyms are closed and you don't have access to the equipment. Another scenario could be if you go on a long holiday or if you need to take some time off benching due to pain or discomfort. Unfortunately, if you've been in the fitness world for a while, you may have noticed that many people work through the pain only because they are too afraid of losing their strength or muscle gains if they stop doing this exercise. Or they are simply too emotionally attached to the movement. So hopefully this video can offer folks an alternative other than to accept defeat when they can't bench press. I just don't want you to throw in the towel just because you can't do one single exercise. So I like to present to you a combination of 2 excellent movements that could replace the bench press temporarily: push-ups and dips. Hold on, before you even dismiss my advice because you think that push-ups are way too easy for you, let me say this. I'm not talking about the get on the floor and knock out 30 plus reps like it's nothing type of push-ups. I'm talking about approaching your push-ups like you would your bench press. For the first half of 2021, I didn't do any bench press at all due to gyms being closed. But when I got back to the bench press 6 months later, I did not lose a single pound of strength. Hell, I would even go as far as to say that I actually got a little bit stronger at it. Let me show you what I did during those 6 months of bench pressing activity, and then feel free to use this information whenever you think it's applicable to your personal circumstances. I used both parallel bar dips and push-ups as my main pressing lifts. Of course, I had to use external resistance to overload these 2 movements adequately, which means that I progressed dips and push-ups like you would a bench press in the gym, adding more weight when needed. Due to body position and core strength demand, I feel like push-ups lend themselves better to high repetitions, so I progressed the movement within the 6 to 10 rep range. For dips, however, I used a lower rep range, which in turn allowed me to train with more intensity. Full disclosure, these weren't the only 2 exercises I was overloading at the time, of course. And to make my upper body train more well-rounded, I was rotating the OHP, pull-ups, chin-ups, inverted and bent over rows. After a couple of months of more weight and more work, I could start feeling that I was getting stronger at pushing my body away from things, and the chest was feeling pretty good. So in December of 2020, I was able to perform 3 repetitions with a pause with 80 kilograms at 70 kg body weight. Half a year later, 6 full months of not doing the exercise even once, this happens.
3.
I was able to improve on my previous performance at the same body weight without having touched a barbell for horizontal pressing movements. You might think that adding an extra rep isn't that impressive or something worth making a video about, and you might be right. But let me remind you again that the bench press is one of those compound lifts that suffers a lot performance-wise when you don't do it for a while, let alone half a year. So for those folks out there getting anxious because they are not going to be able to bench during holidays or during a quarantine or something, be sure that you could maintain or even gain bench press strength with other exercises. Please let me make very clear that my story is just one occurrence, and therefore should not be extrapolated to all cases. Everyone is different. But the point is that it can be done. However, my story does not suggest that you should do what I did if you want to increase your bench press. Had I been able to go to the gym and progress this lift for those 6 months, I would have made much better gains for sure. After all, the bench press is a very technical lift and requires constant practice, so the set principle still applies. Strength is specific to what you train for. In other words, if you want to get better at the bench press, do more bench press. Perhaps my approach isn't applicable to more advanced trainees, but for the average gym rat working towards or around a 2-plate bench press, maybe my advice could be useful to them. The only reasonable explanation as to why I managed to maintain or even gain strength in my bench press during those 6 months is because I developed structural adaptations, meaning that I probably added some tissue in muscles or muscle groups relevant to the bench press. The most likely explanation or explanations for my muscle gains are the 2 exercises I discussed in this video, push-ups and dips. But perhaps I could include skull crushers in that list due to the importance of the triceps in the bench press. In any case, this video is to reassure those of you who are not going to bench press for an extended period of time. By overloading exercises that train similar functions and therefore similar muscle groups, you can still improve on your general upper body pressing strength through muscle hypertrophy. More muscle tissue can produce more force, however, this doesn't mean that larger muscles automatically result in more strength. But it increases the potential for the athlete to become stronger once he specifically trains the lift, which is exactly what I intend to do for the remainder of the year. Check out these 2 videos on push-ups. The one up here is a 6-week progressively harder training routine for more intermediate athletes, whereas the one down here is a comprehensive tutorial on push-up form. Remember to stay fit and strong. Peace.